Hello, everybody. Allie Duzette here. Welcome to my messy kitchen, and I'm so glad that you're here today. Today, we have to talk about one of the biggest purposes of this eclipse. So I'm going to grab the chart. Oh, I pulled up too many charts today. Where to go? Okay, today we have to talk about what I think is going to be the biggest message for us on a personal level. And I know we've been talking about a whole bunch of different things about this upcoming eclipse, but today I had a bigger thought about it. Okay. So here we have this massive stellium in Aries. This is where this eclipse is taking place, where the sun and the moon are exact each other. They're both at 19 degrees with this Chiron, which we have to talk about tomorrow because I just discovered something crazy about it that will blow your mind. But today I have to talk about you. I have to talk about me. I have to talk about the fact that Aries is the boss of your core personality. It's the boss of that union between your spirit and your physical body. Aries deals with your birth and I don't know, with your unique spirit body connection. And when we're having this eclipse right here in the middle of Aries, we're having some opportunities for some radically new perspectives about our own selves, about our own bodies and our own sense of self and our own personality. But I think what it's actually asking us to do is be ourselves in a bigger way than we have ever been before. Okay, so I wanted to tell you this story today, which I've shared it before, but you're going to hear it again. Um, so a super brief nutshell of my life story, if you missed it, is that I have always been like very logical, but also very like spiritually oriented. When I was 16 years old, I came home from church on the first Sunday of the year in 2005, and I walked in to practice the piano, and I hit a wall and I felt I like heard an audible voice tell me that I had to graduate early from high school and go to college. I was going to go to BYU. I was going to go at least start my major in political science. And I like got this huge download and I was so stunned. I sat down on the couch in that room for a while. And then I got up and I told my parents, like, by the way, I'm moving out now and like it's time for me to graduate, and they were totally shocked. And but I did, and it all worked out so magically. It was crazy because I had basically missed the deadline to apply for college, and I wasn't allowed to apply for college anyway because I was still a junior in high school and I didn't have all the credits, and I couldn't go to night school unless I could prove that I had gotten into college, and I couldn't apply to college until I had proven that I was going to graduate, but I couldn't prove I was going to graduate until I could get into night school. So it was like this crazy, it was like a catch 22, but it magically worked out. And even though I'd missed the deadline to apply, I got in to BYU at 16, and like none of my friends did, who applied. So I don't know. It was like so crazy, but I don't even know why I mentioned that part. But just to say that like this marriage of like logic and intuition, like I have always had this like spiritual connection, but it really went haywire in 2014. My brother died in 2013. I was a primary caregiver for him for many years. I mean, 25 years until he died when he was 25. He was 27. I was 25. And around the time that he died, I went through this like huge like spiritual awakening kind of thing that kind of culminated on January the 1st of 2014 when I woke up one day and literally could like see people's energy fields. I could see their meridians. I could see if they had arthritis. I could see if they had cancer. I could see all this crazy stuff. And I know it sounds crazy, and I thought it was crazy myself. And I sat there and I thought, this is not science. And I'm pretty sure that God said being psychic is evil. So I'm like, what is this? My degree is in soil science. And so I but the things that I knew about myself are that I'm not crazy, I'm super smart, and I'm super religious. And I thought, okay, you know what? God would not let this happen to me if this was evil. Like, I am a good person. I read my scriptures every day. I've read my scriptures every day since I was 12 years old. Like, okay, this like I know I'm smart, I know I'm not crazy, and I know that I'm a good person, and so I've got to make sense of this. And so I devoted many years to making sense of it, and I started out on just like a stupid blog. It's still out there, don't look for it, it's a mess. It has a bunch of links that still kind of work, but they will not, you'll pay for things and not get access to them because they're not in my system. Just don't go to it. But But anyway, that's how I kind of got started, was blogging about my experiences, and people organically found me because other people were having similar experiences and they didn't know what to do about it. So anyway, that let's fast forward up to 2017, where a leader at my church gave a talk where he said that healing practices were evil if they included a promise of healing or something like that. And everybody took it to mean, oh man, what they would call like energy healing, which I don't feel like is what I do at this point, or you could say everything is energy healing. Like, I think it's a massive misunderstanding of terminological issues. Like, I think people are talking about things that they're using terminology they don't understand. Anyway, I read that and I said, this doesn't apply to me. I don't issue any promises. I don't do any, I just like do my thing, and like I'm not affected by this. But someone in my life very much disagreed, and they were very upset about it. And they said, Allie, you have to give up your whole business. You have to shut down your business and stop doing this work. And they said, you're evil. And when I prayed about it, I felt like God told me, like, you're not evil and this isn't bad, but you should listen to the counsel of this person in your life who hates when I tell this story. And so we have to retain their anonymity. But I decided to honor that person in my life, and I shut down my business. It was very traumatic. And then this person in my life said, you have to go to the bishop and confess all your sins and what you've been doing and go and repent. And so I did. I went to the bishop. This is the point of this story. Okay, this is the whole point, because it's about you and it's about me. Okay, the point is, I went to the bishop and I told him my entire life story, all of the work that I do. I told him how it originated. I shared my scriptural insights and my scientific insights. And by the end of this whole thing, and I said, I don't think that this conference talk applies to me. Like, I just don't think so. And by the end of it, he was just like, here's what he said. He said, I don't even know what you're talking about. By the end of this, he was like, I don't even understand anything that you've said. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't get what you do. But he said, but the one thing that I do know is that the Holy Spirit is telling me that you have to do this. You have to do this work. You have to get back to work immediately. You have to restart your business. You have to tell the person who told you not to do this to go and repent. And they need to know that that was inappropriate, and that you are right and they are wrong. And he said, I don't care what anyone else says. This is important work and you must do it. And then he did the craziest thing. He said, I have to give you a bishop's blessing. And he did not put his hands on my head. He was sitting behind a desk and he raised his hands up like this. And he said, I issue you this blessing. And he said, he just issued this blessing. And this blessing, the point of it was to say that as long as you be yourself, you will bless everyone who ever comes into contact with you. You will bless your friends, your family, all of your associates. Anybody who interacts with you is going to be blessed. Okay. Get emotional thinking about it. But as I've been thinking about this eclipse and the fact that it's taking place at 19 degrees of Aries. Oh, sorry, I have a little motorcycle happening over here. Hey, baby, can you take your motorcycle to the other room? Go in there, go. I'm so sorry. Here you go. I'm sorry. Everybody misses Danielle. Say hi, Danielle. Hi. Yeah, you're too. Yeah, there's your motorcycle. My son's clean church shirt that he didn't put away. Okay. Anyway, the point of this Aries eclipse is that it's a calling to be ourselves. Because when you fully be yourself, all the way, I think that when you do that in partnership with God, when the self that you are is a self that deeply cares about our Creator and his opinion of you, I think that when you are yourself all the way, You do bless everyone that ever associates with you. They don't have to be your friends. They don't have to be your family. It's the people you smile at the grocery store. It's the people that you see, that you pass on the sidewalk. I'll tell you this funny story that happened a few months ago at this point. I was at the gym and I was coming down the stairs as this other lady was coming up, and we made eye contact. And I'll be honest, I just make eye contact with everybody. I'm always like, hello, everyone. Everywhere that I go, usually, unless I'm like feeling very introverted that day. But I made eye contact with her and I said hi, and I felt like this zing in my body. Well, fast forward a few weeks, and I decide to, I woke up late. I wasn't gonna hit the gym. But then I was like, no, I should really hit the gym. I'm gonna go to the gym. And I like changed my mind in the moment, and I like got ready as fast as I could, raced to the gym, got there. I was gonna go up and hit the weights, but I thought I saw somebody head into this yoga class, and I was like, you know what? It's been a long time since I've done a yoga class. I'm gonna go to the yoga class. And I go into this yoga class, do the yoga, and at the end of the class, the teacher looks up and she said, "Are you're Ali Duzette?" And I said, "It is true. It is I." And she said, "I don't know if you remember this, but a few weeks ago, you were coming down the stairs and I was coming up the stairs. And when you looked at me and said hello, I felt this zing through my body. And I thought, this is a sign." And she said that morning that I'd gone to this yoga class, that she had prayed that if she was on the right track in her life, that I would come to her yoga class. And I did, against all the odds. And I'll be honest, I don't think I've been to the gym since that yoga class. It's like been a while, guys. It's been like multiple months. So got to get back to the gym. But I just loved that as an incredible example of how we can be impacting each other, not even knowing it. I mean, like God is using all of us in this incredible game of chess that we cannot comprehend. Okay. Once upon a time, I read this account of somebody's dream where it was God and Satan playing chess. And it looked like Satan was winning. And God kept on moving all these pawns around. And it looked like Satan was winning. But at the last moment in this dream, all of these pawns that had gotten to the edge of the board and like fallen off the edge into outer space, they were kings and queens. They all became kings and queens and came back to the board and won the game. And I feel like crying about this again, but I feel like this is what is happening right now. We're all kind of like pawns in God's hands, and he's moving us around this chessboard. And in the moment, it looks confusing and annoying, and things happen to us that we don't understand. And we're sitting there like, are you serious, God? Like, why? You know, like that moment, the morning that I went to that yoga class, like I was running late and my kids, you know, the thing where like you're in the car and you're about to start the car and they're like, but I didn't pack a lunch. Can you just make me my lunch? You're like, okay, run back in the house, make the world's fastest lunch, like throw it out. I'm as you jump in the seat. Anyway, the point is that whatever's going on in your life right now, I want to invite you to connect with our creator and ask, are you part of a bigger game that you don't understand? Are you being moved into the right place for the right time? And maybe you're just a pawn now, but it's only a matter of time before, probably, like this sign of Jonah that we've been talking about, that being in the belly of the whale for 3 days that we're talking about in conjunction with this eclipse. When the pawn falls off the board, there's this moment of death before it is, I guess that's the dream. In real chess, you just get to the pawn gets to the right spot and it becomes a queen. But I don't know. I'm thinking, are we going to have to go through all of this moving around the board that we don't understand because we don't have that higher perspective? And then we're going to have this moment where we all have to be Jonah and we all have to be in the belly of the whale for 3 days, 3.5 days. And then we're going to take that breath of new life and come back as a king or a queen on this chessboard and win the game. Okay. So let's go back to the star chart, because Aries, what this is a big call to just be yourself, as that moon cuts that connection between the earth and the sun. during that solar eclipse. What that is going to do is allow for a brand new perspective. We're going to be able to see ourselves in a new light. And to be honest, for a lot of us, it's going to be painful. That's that message of that Chiron. We're going to see things about ourselves that we don't want to see. And I'm sure I will see that for myself as well. Like I'm like fully anticipating to have a bunch of very fun stuff show up in my own consciousness about myself. But I think we're going to see it on a personal level, on a global level, on a national level, country by country. We're going to have a bunch of opportunities to see who we are in a very much different way. We're going to get a lot more clarity on who we are than we've had in the past. And it's probably not going to be fun for everybody, but it might be fun. So let's hold some space for that, because maybe it will be. Sometimes it's very wonderful to find out who you really are, and really just delight in that. And sometimes we find out and we're like, oh, I think I need to change some things about myself. We are called to be more of ourselves. And I think that's also a message that comes up with this lunar eclipse that, let me pull it right up. This lunar eclipse is giving us this opportunity to let go of everything going on in that 5 degrees of Libra zone. It's asking us to let go of where we have hidden ourselves to serve other people, or where we have, hidden how we really felt to keep the peace. And we're moving into an era where there's just not time for that. We just don't have time for that. It's time to have really excellent boundaries. It's time to really look within and say, you know what, I'm ready to be myself. So, as you know, I'm like a super weirdo, and it's very fun, but it's also very, difficult, because there's just a lot of normies in this world who don't appreciate everything weird like I do. And so for years, so I lived in this house for 5 years, next week actually. And I moved in and I hid everything. I hid all my books about stars and about vaccine, studies and stuff like that, and natural health and all the stuff that I really care about. And I kept them all in a closet in the basement. And I just hid so much of myself. And man, maybe 3 years ago, I had an old friend from college reach out and ask how I was doing. And I was kind of giving these updates. And as I was giving these updates, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm like not living in alignment with myself at all. I've hidden everything about myself that is unique to me and that I like. It's in a closet in the basement. And in that moment, I like thought back. Now, this was a couple of years after that blessing, and I thought, I'm not being myself. I'm not being myself. I'm hiding who I am to keep the peace. I have everything that I like in a closet so that when people come into my house, they don't say, oh my gosh, you're a weirdo who reads vaccine studies and cares about astronomical movement, but like, guess what, who cares? That is who I am. And if you come to my house now, you will see an entire collection of vaccine related books, and all of my star books, and a ton of my crystals, and all of my crazy stuff. And that is the year that I got a worm farm and I got chickens. And I just said, you know what, I'm done hiding that I want to own chickens and worms and have a house full of giant rocks and a bunch of books about controversial scientific topics. I bring it up because how does this relate to you? Where are you hiding? Where do you have a closet full of all the stuff that you like and you're afraid to put it out on display because you don't want people to judge you? We're heading into an area, astronomically speaking, and chronologically speaking, where we're gonna have to be who we are, even when it ticks off other people. That is this big message. We're gonna have to be who we are, even if it makes people uncomfortable. And here's the real thing. If we do not do that, we will pay a price, okay? The stars don't force anybody to do anything. We always have our agency. We can go through this next month with these 2 upcoming eclipses that I've been talking so much about, and we can, we can continue shoving things aside. We can continue stuffing our feelings down. We can continue doing what we've always done. we can move ahead without the introspection, but we will pay a price. What will that price be? I just had this beautiful conversation with somebody that reached out talking about how she knows that she's been like so codependent her whole life and that she doesn't have good boundaries, and she's just really been struggling with that. And over and over and over, she's getting all these messages from every which way saying like, you have to have boundaries, you have to stand up for yourself, you have to take care of yourself and prioritize yourself and stop holding yourself down and shutting yourself up to make other people comfortable. This is a message that a lot of us have been dealing with for our whole lives, and this is really time to take it seriously, even though it's so scary. It's so scary. I mean, when I moved all my books out into the public, and when I moved out all my decor and like bought a worm farm and stuck it in my kitchen, all my worms died. It's a long story. I don't have it in here right now, but it was right there for a long time. And people thought it was like a decoration. And I'm like, no, that's like full of 10,000 worms eating my compost right now. And I miss my worms, and I might order some more. But it was hard, and I felt weird, and people certainly think that I'm weird, which is fine, but it's taken me a while to become fine with it. And we are all being called to become fine with it. You just be who you are and be fine with it? That is the big challenge that we're going to have. And so I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Where are you not being yourself? Where are you hiding who you are? And I want you to think about it in a couple of different ways. Where are you hiding who you are in your conversations with other people? Where are you hiding who you are in the way you decorate your house, or what you have out or not out, and just the way that you live your life? I've kind of felt like for myself, me without chickens, like it's like I'm not myself. As soon as I got them, I just thought, oh my gosh, it felt like this weight lifted that I didn't even know I was carrying. It's like, oh, of course, I own livestock. Like, who I am has to have livestock, or I'm just not being true to myself, right? Um, so anyway, that's just what I want you to think about today. Where can you live more in alignment with who you are? How can you be willing to put it on display, even if other people say weird stuff to you, even if they're mean to you, even if they cut you out of their lives? I'll say I have definitely had some of that, and it's okay. It's hard in the moment, and you learn from it and you grow from it, and you forgive everybody involved, and you forgive yourself for being so weird that people reject you. And you step forward, because the only person whose opinion actually matters is our creators and your own. Can you love yourself when you are being yourself, even if other people don't appreciate it? Okay, well, I've got to go pick up all of my crazy wackos from school, minus the one that I already have with me. So I will talk to you guys later, but sending you so much love today. How can you be yourself a little bit more today? How are you going to be yourself?
Yeah.
Go tell them it's time to be yourself. Can you say it? Say be yourself.
Be yourself.
Yeah, that was good advice. Yeah, say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.